Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 songs you didn't know sampled other songs. For this list, we'll be ranking the hit tunes that borrowed elements from different tracks during the songwriting process. We won't be considering Ed Sheeran's The Shape of You, since the singer had to add writing credit for those composers behind TLC's Waterfalls. Can you think of any famous samples? Let us know in the comments. Number 10, Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, sampled 34 Ghosts 4 by 9 Inch Nails. Some of the best hip-hop crossover hits can feature samples from surprising and varied sources. Lil Nas X clearly knew this when making some of his signature tracks. For the track Panini, he sampled Nirvana's In Bloom.
Just say to me what you want from me.
Lil Nas X also took a fairly obscure 9 Inch Nails cut for his hit Old Town Road. The sample in question came from 34 Ghosts 4, a track from Trent Reznor's 6th 9 Inch Nails album that was notable for its dark and ambient mood. Lil Nas X repurposed 34 Ghosts 4 over a drum machine beat, and voila, instant chart success.
Gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
Number 9, Steal My Sunshine by Len, sampled More by the Andrea True Connection. You don't need to sample a huge chunk of a song to make a big impression. Case in point, Len's summertime smash, Steal My Sunshine. It definitely made the most out of a short bridge section from the Andrea True Connection's disco classic, More. The bright and carefree nature of Len's synth hit hinges upon a little bit of percussion and some funky bass.
And of course you can't become if you only say what you would have done.
Thanks to True and her songwriting partner Greg Diamond, the sample helps bridge the gap between 1970s disco and shameless 90s Europop. And if we're being honest, the sample may be our favorite part of Steal My Sunshine.
I know it's done for me. If you steal my sunshine.
Number 8, New Slaves by Kanye West, sampled Gyunchayu Lanya from Omega. Kanye West has a history of digging deep to pull out unique samples. How else can we explain why Yeezy decided to sample the Hungarian prog rock band Omega for his song New Slaves?
My mama was raised in the era when clean water was only served to the fairer skin.
Admittedly, the track Gyunchayu Lanya was actually a huge European hit back in the late 60s and 70s. So it's not out of the question for why it would be on Kanye's radar, but we don't think many other artists would have the same idea. The driving beat of Omega's original slides in to drive home the outro to the song. In the end, the sample helps give the track the drama and gravitas it needs to stand out. Number 7, Cream by Wu-Tang Clan, sampled As Long As I Have You by the Charmels. The world of classic soul and funk is absolutely the cornerstone of modern hip-hop. Many of those tunes have served as the base for thousands of amazing samples. Out of the many examples of this trend, As Long As I Have You by the Charmels is one of the most notable types of these hits. Not only does the original song absolutely slap, but Wu-Tang Clan's sample of it on their track Cream is equally outstanding. It's that intro piano hook that gets us every time.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job.
While producer The RZA pulls from the Charmels, Raekwon, Inspectah Deck, and Method Man bring their voices to the party. The resulting product represents one of Wu-Tang Clan's most definitive musical statements.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Number 6. Nuthin But a G Thang by Dr. Dre, sampled I Wanna Do Something Freaky to You by Leon Haywood. It felt like Dre was pulling from his personal collection when he dropped this Leon Haywood jam on us. I Wanna Do Something Freaky to You is definitely a track for older audiences, since it goes so in-depth when describing a certain kind of physical activity. However, Dre cuts out the mature subject matter and keeps what matters most: the bass, strings, drums, and funk.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at the door.
It fits in perfectly with Nuthin But a G Thang's smooth production vibe. It just takes the sound of the instrumental to make us nostalgic for the first time we heard this forever banger.
Like this, that, and this, and
Number 5. Crazy by Gnarls Barkley, sampled Django Prepare a Coffin, original motion picture soundtrack. A spaghetti western may sound like an obscure place to source a sample for a massive pop hit, but that's exactly what Gnarls Barkley did for their smash single Crazy.
There was something so pleasant about that place.
CeeLo Green and Danger Mouse sat out the soundtrack to 1968's Django Prepare a Coffin. They looped a moody piece of acoustic guitar and vocals from the song to create the backing track. Despite pulling from an obscure source, the choice still allowed Green and Danger Mouse's vision to come through. It also served as an Easter egg for genre film fans who may have thought that a certain mournful melody in Crazy sounded very familiar.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you're crazy.
Number 4. Kim by Eminem, sampled When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin. Some songs that were once controversial lose their power to shock over time, but Kim is just as hard-hitting now as it was when it was released.
Aw, what's the matter, Kim? Am I too loud for you?
Between its disturbing subject matter and intense delivery, the grim track needed something moody to tie it together. In the end, Led Zeppelin's When the Levee Breaks fit the bill. The classic rock staple serves as the percussive backbeat to Eminem's horrifying storytelling. Throughout the song, it helps amplify the aggression on display, and there is a lot of aggression. So we wouldn't be surprised if even the most hardcore Led Zeppelin fans missed their presence in Eminem's Kim.
You were supposed to love me!
Number 3. Juicy by the Notorious B.I.G., sampled Juicy Fruit by Mtume. The original Juicy Fruit from Mtume was a fantastic slice of polished early 80s funk.
You know very well what you are.
This smooth as silk jam earned a new lease on life when it was sampled by the Notorious B.I.G. for his hit Juicy. Biggie and producer Puff Daddy put a little bit of their own work into the mix.
The change from a common thief to up close and personal with Robin Leach.
Additionally, they re-recorded the chorus section and chose to use an alternate instrumental mix of the Mtume track for the basic groundwork. This ingenuity makes Juicy Fruit the best sort of sample. It's one that's used enough to be memorable. At the same time, it showcased how Biggie Smalls was in firm control of his lyrics, flow, and how he wanted his music to be presented.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Number 2. Hung Up by Madonna, sampled Gimme 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 A Man After Midnight by ABBA. The songwriting geniuses behind ABBA, Benny Andersson and Bjorn Ulvaeus, don't give out permission to sample their music to just anyone. But Madonna isn't just anyone. She's, well, Madonna. That's why the pair allowed the Queen of Pop to sample their intro to Gimme 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 A Man After Midnight for her track Hung Up. This was allegedly only the second time they'd allowed something like this. Thankfully, the results proved well worth it. That iconic synth melody just sounds too big to be denied. It not only made the ABBA original a chart success, but allowed Madonna to ride a similar wave of success with Hung Up. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Crazy in Love by Beyonce. Sampled Are You My Woman, Tell Me So by the Shy Lights. If you're like us, you just can't get enough of the dope horns and that killer breakbeat in this The Shy Lights classic. Are You My Woman, Tell Me So did okay business for the group back when they released the track on their second album, I Like Your Lovin', Do You Like Mine? But the pulsing bass and driving hook received a new lease on life when Beyonce sampled the track on her mega hit Crazy in Love. Today, the melody is instantly recognizable. We can't begin to imagine how Beyonce's track would sound without the sample. Her production makes the Shy Lights' original instrumentation sound all the more amazing. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.